My name is Steven Vargas, and I began my high school running career as a sprinter in track and field.
Now, I've always considered myself naturally fast. Growing up, I would call kids out to race and have never lost since the 6th grade. So when I heard from my good friend Christian about cross country, I thought, why the hell would I ever want to do that?
Now, I won't bore you with the entire story, but basically I heard about track and field and I wanted to see how I'd compare against those guys and how fast I would become, because I never really knew how fast I was. I never really measured it. Now here comes the first day, and we do everything we're supposed to do, and one day we have our first workout.
I believe the distance veterans did something else, but Coach Hernandez had us running the curb or something, and I distinctly remember being last.
And that's sort of how it went in track and field. I hated feeling tired and I hated feeling pain, and I never really gained anything from it. Then comes the end of track and field, and I feel like a failure. I never made any real improvement in any events, and in every workout I was always left behind. I put it up to the fact that I had not run cross country or had any real running experience while everyone else had. I used that as an excuse as to why I was so slow, and I decided to run cross country for strength and to stay in shape.
I heard that they run 3-mile races in cross country, and after having a heart attack, I ran 3 miles at neck-breaking speed in a time of 30 minutes. I didn't expect to break any records or anything during cross country, so I kinda just didn't care for a while. I would try to run mileage, but never really took it seriously, and eventually, summer practice started. We would run outside a lot, and I would always be dead last.
Finally, I decided I was sick and tired of being last, and I quickly became the #1 runner on the team. That didn't actually happen. In fact, my improvement spanned as much as 6 months of training. So slowly but surely during the summer, I was getting further and further away from the back. But I was still nowhere near being last, or anywhere near the middle, really. After doing mileage for the longest time, we finally started doing workouts.
These cross-country workouts are honestly the most ugly mugugly things to run. It spans from 400s and 800s to 3-lappers, mile repeats, and running hills.
Cross-country workouts are honestly the worst. I wanted to give up immediately, I wanted to quit cross-country, I wanted to lie down and sleep. But those damn workouts and running cross-country actually gave me plenty of lessons and taught me a lot. Things that I want to make sure are cemented into future runners so they don't make the same mistakes I do. Probably the most important thing I learned is to push yourself. You really have to push yourself. I know it hurts and I know it's uncomfortable, but the pain means you're growing. You're always capable of more than you think, and cross-country is physically exhausting, but it takes a lot of mental strength to go through with it. Racing 3 miles isn't easy, it really isn't. And coming into cross-country as a sprinter seems literally undoable. In track, I never raced more than a single lap, so I had to go from 1/4 of a lap to 3 entire miles. And it just seemed impossible to me, or if I could do it, it'd be done in a really poor way. So every time I'd do poorly in a workout or in an outside run, I'd tell myself, oh, I'm just a sprinter, which is an excuse that I would use whenever I did poorly, and I used it for the fact that I sucked at running distance. In fact, other people did that too. I remember getting a certain time in the 2 mile and people would tell me like, oh, you're just a sprinter, that's pretty good for a sprinter. And I don't blame them for saying that, because I really did suck at distance and I just started off as a sprinter. But at one point I got sick of that excuse. I stopped sprinting for months and I wasn't a sprinter anymore, so I didn't make any more excuses. Then came the first time trial for the team, and I hit a time of 22:57. Which was a pretty big improvement from my time of 30 minutes from the end of track. But then little by little, race by race, time trial by time trial, my time continued to drop from 22:08 to 20:23. Now these were all on flat courses, and we have our 3-mile races at Pierce College. So on a hilly course, I would hit 21:54, and then 20:24, and then 20:02. I never broke 20 at Pierce, but I sure as hell did on a flat course with a time of 19:31. This video isn't about me. Well, it kinda is, but it's more something people who are in my position could look back in if they're need advice or if they're lost at any point. If you're planning to join track and field, I cannot express this enough. Join cross country. Actually, genuinely join cross country. It hurts like a
starting run,
but it will help you tremendously for strength. Track has a lot of events that differ from distance, and while you could probably get by just fine in the 100 and 200, the 400 and up is another story. I had to run the 4x4 in track, and I was by far the slowest in it. Now, as I'm writing this script, I'm nearing the end of it, and to be honest, I had a vision for what I wanted to focus on, and whether I wanted it to be personal or not, but all that kind of flew out the window. But honestly, I don't mind that. Cross country is a lot like that. You get lost at points and things aren't so clear. You can feel like you've hit a cap at times, or like you aren't getting any improvement, or things are too difficult and you'll want to quit. I know what that feels like. Trust me, I do. But you can't quit. Like I said at the beginning, racing 3 miles is hard. It hurts, but stick through it and you'll hopefully be proud of yourself, more than you've ever been.